Hello, welcome to my channel. These days, much is written and said about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and about the summit in China, also as the victory parade in the World War II, which took place in Beijing. The world mass media writes a lot about the relationship that China, Russia, and India is trying to build. And most analysts and political scientists believe that China, Russia, and India are creating a bloc opposite to the United States and Europe and try to create a multipolar world. In the West, Biden is blamed for pushing Russia towards China and China towards Russia, as well as Trump is blamed with his tariffs policies, for pushing India towards Russia, not only towards Russia, but also towards China. And this gave impetus to the creation of an alliance, as they call it, the alliance of the dragon, the bear, and the elephant. However, the main result of the summits in Anchorage, Alaska, and Beijing, China, eludes most observers, or maybe is deliberately hidden by them. I want to draw your attention to a few important points. First, the core of negotiations between the leaders of let us call Big Four or G4 if you prefer, extended from Anchorage, Alaska to China, and its source was the negotiations between Trump and Putin. Therefore, it can be considered that Trump invisibly participated in the summit in Beijing, because it was his agreements with Putin, along, of course, with the bilateral relations of the countries, that were main topic discussed by the leaders in closed secret negotiations in duopolis, by two leaders separately. And we'll discuss it next time. Second, after the summit in Anchorage, Trump and his inner circle repeatedly and harshly said that Ukraine would not be included in NATO. In Beijing, Xi Jinping called for resistance to bloc confrontation and bloc policies. Putin accused NATO that the war in Ukraine was provoked by attempts to change the regime in Kiev in 2014 with the aim to include Ukraine in NATO. Modi supported non-bloc status and development path non-bloc by Shanghai Organization. And the important point, that all key members of Shanghai Organization, as well as members of the BRICS present in China, they all supported these non-bloc policies. Next point. Some of the countries, that is rather interesting, were pressured in Beijing. And not just pressured, but were ostracized. And this rarely happens at celebrations. Among these countries were Azerbaijan and Armenia. Both countries from the Soviet Union, from the former Soviet Union, from the Russian Empire territory, from the Russian civilizational macro region, which India and Pakistan blocked from joining the Shanghai Organization. And the reasons for this are similar. Baku and Islamabad signed a strategic partnership agreement in 2023. Azerbaijan positioned itself as an ally of Turkey and Pakistan and helped Pakistan conduct military operation in recent conflict with India by providing intelligence information and coordinating diplomatic actions. And after the conflict ended, Aliyev, the president of Azerbaijan, congratulated Pakistan on its victory over India. Armenia is blocking itself now with the United States and Europe. Armenia has worsened relations with Russia and lost its support, which has given Pakistan opportunity to respond to India's blocking Azerbaijan accession to Shanghai Organization by blocking Armenia's path to Shanghai Organization. Moreover, in Beijing, Putin met and held talks with the Prime Minister of Armenia, Pashinyan, for a long time. According to unofficial sources, Putin made Pashinyan an offer or a quiet but firm ultimatum that Pashinyan would find hard to refuse. Either Armenia returns to the Russian macro region and receives Russian support and protection, including from pressure from Turkey and Azerbaijan, or Russia defends only its own interests in Transcaucasus region, and Armenia's interests become aligned to it. These are very important points, and there are other important points which I would like to discuss in my future videos. But even at this point, we can make few conclusions. I would like to make these conclusions. First is that a Supreme League, as I call it, the Big Four, but maybe you will call it G4, has been formed, and this was finalized in Beijing, where actually Putin spoke on behalf of both Russia and the United States, on behalf of Trump. The Big Four consists of the United States, China, India, and Russia. And Trump, I presume, may soon announce the first upcoming meeting of this group. Though maybe, as it is becoming a tradition in this group, they will have separate negotiations, working in duopolis. One more point. The ideological basis of the Big Four, the new G4, is anti-bloc and civilizational sovereignty. This is not a classic military political bloc like NATO. Its unifying idea is rejection of ideology of bloc confrontation, and their basic idea also is basic principle is the principle of non-interference in the affairs of civilizational macro regions. Statements by Xi Jinping, Putin, and Modi, criticism of NATO, and support for non-aligned status are not rhetoric, but a new conceptual framework. Each of them, of course, has its own reasons. Russia defends this idea because of confrontation with NATO. China, to avoid containment by the United States and promote multipolarity. India, to maintain strategic autonomy. The United States, under Trump, to reduce commitments to allies, promote its development as a great civilization different and separate from Europe, and to conduct a pragmatic deal with other major powers. So next time I'll speak about one more very important aspect. This is why these talks were held separately, and why they were so secret and they were so closed from all other interferences. See you next time. Thank you.